Hello, hello. Happy Monday, ladies. I'm in the car on the way back from a ski trip. Even though I didn't ski, the people that I am with did. So we're making it work tonight. How is everyone? Can y'all hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Thanks, Caitlin.
I like the hat.
Thanks. Can y'all hear that? Or is it in my earbuds? Oh, hold on. My car mates. You can or cannot? Okay. Can y'all hear me? Can someone say hello?
Hello.
I can hear.
What the heck, yo? Excuse- Okay, I got it in my ears. Thanks for whoever said they liked my hat. Seasonal Angel Fire. Although 97 people asked me if it was for Air Force. I had to tell them no. And when I say 97, it was just 3. Happy Monday. Okay, I want to know, where is your energy at today? On a scale of 1 to 10, what are you bringing tonight for energy? 1 is I'm not feeling it at all. 10 is it's been an amazing day, high on life. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. Oh my gosh, Megan's at a 10. Megan, that's good since you're presenting tonight. That's awesome. 5, 7. Oh, Jane, what's going on? We have to hear. At a 2. Has it been a rough day? 8.
If my hair doesn't say rough day, I don't know what does.
Girl, my hair is like stick to my head. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to get my roots done. I feel you.
No. Yeah, no, it's good. Just, it's gloomy. My body hurts. My toddler's being crazy. It's one of those, not really anything
Oh my
else,
gosh.
but it's okay.
Well, hopefully you'll spend the next hour with us. It'll be great. I know Megan's gonna crack us up and give us all the deets and information on what she is doing. Every time she tells us her stories, I am always rolling laughing because she's so great. So we'll
Love
raise
it.
your energy and hopefully you'll meet some new friends as well.
Yeah, thank you.
And if you hear like my goddaughter's in the back seat, she might need to blow her nose. I don't know. Shane's here. Our best friends are here. So as we say every Monday night, like life is happening all around us. And at first I was like, oh, I'll just have Irene do this. And then I thought, no, because I'm constantly telling you ladies that no matter what's happening, it just is what's happening. So now you're seeing it on my end. But I am going to mute myself for most of the call. And I might turn my camera off just because we're driving and the sun is setting. So it is 6:04. Oh, Megan said you can't tell there's a kid. That's my goddaughter, Samantha, one of my 2 goddaughters. She is going to be 6 next week, which I cannot believe. And she was a skiing machine in Angel Fire, although her dad accidentally turned her down a blue, and we got to hear about it for about 24 hours. And I'm sure she'll tell us about it later. Okie dokie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are new, this is your first time joining us, we are so excited that you are here. We wanted to create a safe space for female real estate investors because if you've been around us for a while, you know that there's only 31.6% of us. And so we want to be able to grow that table. We want to have more seats for more women to be able to come together, to network, to meet each other, to find potential partners, whether it be JV partners, business partners. And of course, we always want to help you network. This call did start inside Pace's communities, inside Sub 2 and Gator, although it has grown beyond that. So not everyone is affiliated with Pace's stuff. But if you hear people talk about Pace or Sub 2 or Gator, just know that that's where we originated. So I'm going to turn it over to Irene right now, and Irene is going to introduce our speaker. And then when we're done with Megan, we'll jump back all together and we'll do a little bit of networking, and then we'll wrap up for the night. Irene, take it away.
All right. Thanks, Katie. So tonight we have Megan. So Megan, the assistant, is a relentless entrepreneur with too many hobbies, as she said, and jobs and dreams. She's owner of Legit Rentals. She's handy enterprise and art magnified. Her side hustles include part-time box truck driver and legal process server, which she will also share later. That actually blew my mind about how she does it and how other ladies can also do that. In her spare downtime, she makes splatter and pour art, canvas art, and she made floating beds with more furniture variety to come. She has 6 houses, used them for room rentals and single family house rentals, and now down to 3 houses, and 1 will be a Section 8 house. And recently, she also added a super small starter trailer park, and that she's going to turn it to future tiny home park to her portfolio. So today, she's going to share with us how she acquired that trailer park, as well as her learnings about Section 8 investing. So Megan, over to you. Megan, you need to unmute yourself.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so hi. Sorry, I was like tending to my my chicken that I just made in a crock pot, and I was just like, making sure it wasn't boiling over. So I got done with a good workout, so I made it back in time to be in this meeting. So it was a workout class, so it's always fun. And that's why I was at a 10, because it was like one of those really good workout classes where and then my cat, I had to let her outside for a few minutes, and now she's all hyper. So yeah, this little bundle of joy here. But yeah, so so I right now I started in 2013 with my first house. That was a room rental business, and I actually started off in an apartment renting out a room, well, a couch. The couch started it all, and I was making like $300 a month off this couch rental. Then I was like, why don't I sleep on the couch and, rent out the room for more? So that basically paid off my apartment by doing that. And then like a year after that, 2013, I bought a house. It was a 3-bedroom, but I turned it into a 6-bedroom, that house, by adding rooms in the basement, added a bathroom. So it was 1 bath, 3-bed, turned into a 2-bath, 6-bed. And then in 2018, bought a 2-bedroom house, turned into a 5-bedroom house, and then had more room rentals with that because it was growing. So I was living in the basement of that house, renting out 10 rooms. Yeah. So, and then I eventually went to the single family home style. So I sold the 5th Ave house. I call it the 5th Ave house. The first house I turned to a 6-bedroom. I sold that before I knew you could take equity out of it to buy more properties. No, I sold it so I could have that money to buy more properties. So that was in 2020. I sold that, bought 3 houses. I went and looked at a bunch of houses, and I made lowball offers on like 15 properties. And my real estate agent was like, what if you get them all? I'm like, I'll find a way. If they accept all my lowball offers, that's a heck of a deal. So eventually I got 3 of the 15. Like, it's funny because one of those is this house that I'm in. I call it the mansion. And it's a 6-bedroom, which I'm going to eventually turn into an 8-bedroom if these room rentals get going. But one of the other houses I already sold it. It became a single family home house. And then I sold it just this last spring. But that house, it's funny. You never think about making an offer on a house that I looked at a house across the street from it. And I was like, well, that one has a dumpster in the driveway. And my real estate agent, just because they have a dumpster in the driveway doesn't mean they're going to sell it. I'm like, let's go knock on their door. And as we're walking up to that property, this lady's, getting out of her car, going up to the house. And we asked her if she was going to be selling it. She's like, actually, we just listed it like 2 hours ago. I'm like, what? Seriously? So we looked into the Huh? Oh.
Go ahead. Someone just needed to be muted.
Oh, okay. But so I go and tour that house and made an offer, and it was like, of course, they just listed that day, and so I lowballed them basically, and they didn't even like make a counter offer. So I was like, I lowballed them a little hardcore, but whatever, it was going to be an investment. But another house that I had lowballed, it was a 1-bedroom rental, and my offer was 35,000, which is what they were selling, like a little over that. But I offered 35,000 with a loan. Somebody else offered cash. They accepted my offer over the cash offer, which is weird, which is abnormal. But they took a chance on me. So, and that other house that I offered lowballed on, they came back 4 weeks later, counter offer, and then I counter offered that. So it's like you never know. You can make an offer on a house that just goes on the market, and they can always come back later to counter offer. It's one of those I don't know. A lot of things have happened with buying houses that you would never expect to happen. So like that's why I tell people, just go ahead and try. It doesn't hurt to try. Sometimes it'll surprise you.
Megan, on that one, right? That I think what's very intriguing when you and I chat a little bit is the trailer park. So most ladies probably have a little bit more familiarities about houses or apartment, but the trailer park and mobile home park is something that we might heard about it, but don't know where to find deals, how to identify if it's a deal or not, how to acquire it.
Yep. So that one actually, because I have a lot of real estate friends here in town, one of my friends, her name is Brooke Bickford. I posted my idea about tiny home parks online, and she saw it, and she's like, actually, I know a guy who's looking to sell his trailer park. So that's why you want to make friends with agents out there and have them follow you, because anything you post, they'll see and they'll connect you with people that they know. So that guy, he was willing to do seller financing with me. He loved my idea of tiny home parks, so he's got a bunch of parks in Iowa and Minnesota, but he was already trying to get rid of this one because it's a crappy starter one, but it's a crap hole. Like there's 10 lots, 3 of them are empty. There's nothing on them. They're vacant. So 7 renting trailers. It's a tenant owned park too, which is better than park owned, because you want tenant owned where they're paying the lots, or the lot rent, I should say. And that way, if they can't just leave, they have to sell their trailer to leave. So otherwise, if they're just paying you rent for the trailer, they could just up and leave whenever. So that's why you want tenant owned. And it's just, so you're not stuck with the trailers. But I'm going to be starting with that hopefully this spring with Premier Buildings. I don't know if anybody's heard of Premier Buildings. It's they look like sheds, kind of like there's cabin looks and whatnot. So they actually Premier Buildings has a plan, a rent to own plan, which you don't find with most companies, where so there's 12 by 30 sheds I'm looking at that they're shells basically. They also provide move-in ready buildings, but I'm a contractor, so I can work on them and make them move-in ready myself, so I can save on the costs. But anyway, they have a rent to own on like say 12 by 30, $900 a month. That's better than paying full price, right? So while you're working on it, paying that rent to own deal, get it ready, move-in ready, and then have somebody buy it, and then boom, you can just pay it off. And then it looks like Katie just put the link there for Premier Buildings. They're all over the U.S. So, and actually another good thing about them, free shipping within 50 miles of wherever you can buy it. So that they're all over Iowa. So really it's like free shipping everywhere. And I'm actually talking with a guy who's going to give me a discount for doing more than one. So I have yet to talk to him. Every time we try to set up a meeting, something happens. So we were going to work on a deal though. If I were to use them, I'm going to see about how big of a discount I get for that trailer park and future trailer parks. And he said he might do a referral fee program with me too. So which would be cool. So if anybody else wants to use Premier Buildings, I can give them, a referral link, and they can probably get a discount through me. So another cool thing there. But and I've started doing research on trailer parks. There's a site called mhp.com where you can look up trailer parks. So I started doing videos on that where I'm looking up all the trailer parks in Iowa, and it appears it has them all listed on there. So I'm going to call each one. I'm going to focus on each county by county, and call each trailer park. And if it's not them, it is kind of outdated, because even my trailer park on there doesn't have the right number. It doesn't even have a picture on it for my trailer park I just bought. But most of the information on there looks to be good. But I am going to call every trailer park and ask them if they are willing to sell it, So I'm going to try to do some videos on that. And if anybody's looking to get started into that, and I might actually tour Iowa, each county and each of those trailer parks. So, and try to update their list a little bit. Their site says to request a virtual tour too. I'm like, I don't know. They had a completely different number on my park. And it's not even my number. It's not even the original guy's number. So I hit, let's take a virtual tour, and I want to see how this goes, like, just play along, play dumb, and just go take a tour of my own park with whoever they're going to have be the tour guide, like, I want to see how they do this, but they never got back to me on that. So I'm going to actually call them about that and see what they do, because I really want to see what they do for that, But sorry if you hear my cat meowing in the background. She was back outside apparently.
Hey, Megan.
What's up?
No, Megan, you're fine. It's a little spotty, but that's okay. I don't know if that's me or that's you, but tell us a little bit about the numbers though on the trailer park. Like, how much was it to get in? Like, what does the cash on cash look like? Just talk to us a little bit about the investment piece of it. And then what are your responsibilities? Like, do you hire someone that lives there, similar to what we do in an RV park, or what do you do from that perspective?
Okay, so Emmitsburg is the park, the location of the park, which is only an hour west of me. So I actually go there time to time. I have all the tenants set up to pay me online. 2 of them, though, are old school. So I set up a bank account in that town. I went there. I'm like, I'll make it easy for them. Whatever bank they use, I'm like, okay, I'll set up a bank account, and then I'll just have that money, go virtually to my account. So I have it set up that way. And right now I'm the manager, basically. I was thinking in the future, I might set it up on easylandlord.com, which I've heard is a good site to use in Iowa. So some of my other landlord friends use that. So I might, do that in the future. But for now, I'm going to take care of it. And then in the future, looking to having it managed. I did call around for property managers in the area, and there is none. But what's funny, in my search for that, one of them was a big apartment owner. He said he was willing to manage it for me in the future. So I'm like, okay, cool. So that's another idea. If you can't find any property managers, it's such a small town. There's only 3,000 people. This population is small. So you're not going to really find property managers, but you might be able to find other landlords who are willing to manage it for you. So, yeah. And so this guy, back when I first started talking to him, the owner of the park, it was actually, he was going to sell it to me for more back then. He was originally going to sell it to me for $150,000 and have like $50,000 down. Well, and I was like, oh, I'm going to have to try to come up with that money, sell a couple houses, whatever, I'll eventually get to that. Yeah, and then a year happened. Then I tried selling this big house, which did not sell. And so I didn't get the money for this big down payment he wanted. And I was like, don't worry, I'll have to sell a couple of properties. And then, it still wasn't enough. And then eventually he came down on his price. And then I was like, I sold a different property. And so I was like, can I just put $25,000 down? And then he actually lowered the total price in the end to 125. So I put 25,000 down. So really I have 100,000 left. So it's like kind of like time after time. He's just like, if I would have bought it then, I would be paying way more. So I lucked out, I feel like, on that one. because his patience was probably getting worn, and he wants to see me renovate his other trailer parks, you know, because he sees my passion for it, my videos and everything. He's just wants to see it done to this park first before implementing this idea to his other parks. So, but right now the lot rent, it's really cheap. I actually got him to move it up to 190. It used to be 170 2 years ago per lot. Now it's 190, and I just notified them it's going to be 210 here in a few months. So I had to I copied his contract in a way, and I just put my own words in it. He had a really good contract. It was pages long. The ones I was looking at online are just basic. They just have basic ones on there. They're a couple pages long, but he had like probably a lawyer wrote his one up. Like he was covering his butt on every corner for anything that would happen. It was just over everything, overdone, I should say. But you cover your butt. You know, he was covering his basis on everything that could happen. So I basically copied that and kind of reworded some things. And they were used to that contract. So I figured it's basically the same. Just read it over to see where it all changed. And I told them where all I changed it at, and just that the rent's going up here in a few months, because I told them property taxes going up, you know, and insurance. And yeah, so just so they understand.
And does that rent include them living there? Like, that's the whole thing. And then you have, like, you own no, they own the
Yeah,
mobile
they own
home.
their houses. Yep.
Okay.
So they have to pay utilities on their, yeah.
Okay.
So all I pay is property taxes and insurance.
And then you have like electricity for them, like hookups or what? Like,
Yep. There's water hookups, there's electrical hookups. They already have that. The only thing I pay is this big light in the parking lot. That's $14 a month for, you know, that one light pole, which on the other side doesn't have any light. So I'm thinking, I did research years ago about installing another light when I had another tiny home park idea here in Fort Dodge. It's $300 for Mid-American to come out there, put up a pole. 300, that's it. Just to install a light pole for the parking lot. Or at least that was what was but it's not as expensive as you think it would be. And that's who you get a hold of, is your local electrical, whoever you pay the electric company. They'll come out and install park lights for you. And then, yeah, so I'm thinking about doing that, because the whole other side, every time I go out there in dark, it's completely dark. I'm like, how do you guys even walk out here? But yeah, so in my seller finance plan, I only have to pay the original owner like $705 a month. So I'm actually like making a little bit on the end. And so I'm thinking with the 3 empty lots, I'm going to start them off with the premier buildings. And I might rent 2 of them out for RVs and just use one. So that way I'm getting some more income. So, because really I only need one spot, and I can just temporarily rent out the other 2 spots.
How long is your loan for the seller financing?
Well,
how long do you have to pay him out?
His plan right now, we have a 3-year plan. It's got balloon payment on the end. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So with the balloon payment, okay.
Yep. So I think that's why he went down on the price and, you know, allowed me to do 25,000 down. So he came down on that. Originally 2 years ago, we talked about 15-year plan. So, but now, yeah, it's at a 3-year plan. So, but yeah.
What makes you, so you said that location was like a crappy location and like a place that nobody else wants to touch, right?
Yeah, it's actually.
So what gave you the confidence, and what make you, in terms of the strategy, that you think you can operate better and make money off that?
Yeah, so in this little town of only 3,000 people, there's actually a casino in that town. And there's a little Iowa Lakes Community College. So it's a tiny college town. And there's a little lake. It's called Great Lakes. Or not Great Lakes, a Great Lake, whatever it is. But yeah, it's got a little lake there too. So, and it's on the way to Lake Okoboji. So it's kind of like right along the highway onto like a touristy area. It's a fishing hub and everything. So it'd be prime location especially if I rent out those 2 spots for RVs temporarily. And once I get that first tiny home done, I can kind of slowly convert the rest of the park. Then they'll see all these tiny home rentals over here and they can rent those. It'd be cheaper to rent in Emmitsburg than all the way up in Okoboji, which is another half-hour drive. But out there, everything's expensive, and they could just rent. I'm thinking about some of these tiny homes, they could be short-term rentals. Some could be long-term. So I'm kind of doing like a split idea on that.
And what about the Section 8 that you said that you've been spending a lot of time in researching? And so first of all, why do you start looking into Section 8? What is compelling to you? And then what have you learned so far?
Yeah, so in Fort Dodge, Iowa, we lost a lot of landlords that were doing Section 8. They were getting out of it because it wasn't paying enough then. Now they've actually raised the payout. So it's more of an incentive to get landlords back in. A lot of them don't know about that. They're not getting the word out. It's just like one of my friends works there actually, and she's like, you should do Section 8. I'm like, no, because a lot of landlords got out of it. They're like, well, now it's better. We're working with the landlords. We're actually, they're paying them better. So to make it worth it. So I'm like, okay, that's good to know. And so I actually, I decided to go, my cat is trying to be cuddly here, but I went and got papers here. I did a video so I grabbed a sheet there. This gives you the information on what counties that this local housing agency is in charge of. So not just this county, they're actually in charge of surrounding counties. So we've got Calhoun, Hamilton, Humboldt, Pocahontas, Webster, and Wright. So that's 6 counties they're in charge of right at this local housing agency. So, okay, I was like, okay, which counties are looking for Section 8 housing? What do they have a need for? So the county I'm in, they're like, we have a need for 1-bedroom and 3-bedroom houses here. So I was like, okay, what about the other counties? Like Pocahontas County, they need everything. They need 1, 2, 3 bedrooms on that. So that's another good place to invest. They're saying they're desperate for Section 8 houses out in Pocahontas County. So the payout, say for a 1-bedroom, Pocahontas Webster are kind of similar. It's $656 about. So you'll be getting that. They pay utilities, and you don't have to provide a washer or dryer. They wiggle the price a little bit if you provide the washer and dryer, and same with garage. There's wiggle room for that. Sometimes you can charge extra for a detached garage. I just found this out the other day. It's like, oh, your garage is detached. You can actually charge more for them to use that. And I was like, well, how much more? About $50 more a month. I'm like, really? Okay, cool. So, but my 3-bedroom here in Fort Dodge, I can make $1,159. No, that doesn't sound like a lot. It's Fort Dodge. We 3 bedrooms normally rent from $850 to $950 here. Okay, normally. I mean, there's some on there for $750. I'm just saying, 100 and 159. That's pretty good for a 3-bedroom house. They really made the incentives pretty good. So in Pocahontas County, it's 1,042. Pocahontas, now that's a cheap area, really cheap. You can find houses out there. A 3-bedroom, I could probably find for less than $50,000. And fix it up for
is that your strategy, Megan, is to now identify, okay, these are the counties. I know they need a 1-bedroom or a 3-bedroom. So now I'm going to go find either a sub-2 deal, or I'm going to go find something else and then buy those or partner up, however you're going to get it, so that you can get them into that. Program.
I'm trying to get the word out. Anybody looking into Section 8 or investing in Iowa, I'm like, have you thought about Section 8? There's people that are looking to invest in Iowa and don't know where to start. I'm like, this would be perfect. Pocahontas County. And I'm like, I've got the people, that can help fix up these houses out there too. I mean, I could even, I'm going to start a video of going out there and talking to people in houses for sale.
No worries, we're just muting. Awesome. Okay, so I want to open it up for questions. If you have a question for Megan, either drop it in the chat or just come off mute and let us know. I think this is a fascinating thing. Like I didn't know anything about trailer parks. I mean, I barely know about RV parks, but um and then tell us the name of that. Is it just the housing authority that you're looking for? What's the name of the group that had the information by counties for the Section 8, in case somebody wanted to Google their.
Yeah, I think Fort Dodge Housing Agency. That's the one I went to locally. I mean, in Iowa, they do call them, like, they go by different names in some areas of Iowa, and I'm sure in other states. But yeah, housing authority, housing agencies.
I love it. Okay, so Megan, tell us, let's wrap up with this. Tell us, what are your goals looking like for 2024, and how can we help you? What do you need, or who do you need to know that so that you can achieve those goals?
Well, right now I tell people, I'm like, I need to make a clone of myself, like five times of me. It'd be great. Because
I actually want to add like a few things that for those ladies that don't know. So first of all, Megan is working on 1 second, let me hold a note so that I don't miss that. But that is like, holy crap. Like, she is learning to fly for her pilot license.
Yep.
Like, ladies, like, isn't that, if this is not badass, I don't know what is.
I swear she never sleeps. Like, you never sleep, Megan. I don't even, every time we talk to you, there's like a new job, a new project, a new this. That's awesome.
Yep.
I totally agree, Irene. That is badass.
And then she discovered like a side hustle that any lady can do anywhere that nobody would have thought about. So Megan, why don't you share that, like what you discovered and been doing and making, good income from that too?
Yeah, so I'm a legal process server on the side, which one of my friends actually brought to me a couple months ago. I had a little house party here. And so she does legal process serving like in a couple counties east of me. And I was like, I've never even heard of that. I've never even thought of that. And my friend was like, that would be perfect for you. It's a flexible job, and yeah, it is flexible. Like, you can work anywhere. You can start anywhere between, it's kind of like Lyft or Uber driving, DoorDash, where you just go and start working. Yeah. Anywhere between 8 a.m., 9 p.m., Monday through Sunday. Only some of the clients that you serve say don't work on Sundays. I have yet to run into that, but I'm just like, I find most of these people, like, I just work at night or on the weekends because you want to do your best, right? You want to catch these people. So that's why I work mostly nights and weekends. Yeah. And so I've been doing this for like 3-4 weeks now. And yeah, it pays pretty good because it pays by the county. And so, yeah, it is flexible. I was going to do another video on that about how to find, like, go Google legal process serving jobs. If you can't find any in the area, just go talk to lawyers. That's what I was telling my friend. I was telling her to get into it. She's like, how do you get into it? I'm like, I don't know. I was going to do a video. Like, I'm actually going to go out and talk to lawyers around me and ask them who they use to go serve papers. And then maybe I could pick up work that way, because guess what? I'm a contractor. I'm not stuck to my company I'm working for. I can actually go also pick up extra work with other companies. So even though I'm kind of almost full-time now with my company, if like work ever slowed down, I can pick up more work from other lawyers, from other legal process serving jobs. Because who I'm working for, they're based out of Iowa City, 3 hours away from me. You would think they're all local. No, 3 hours away. He does most of Iowa and northern Missouri. So I'm like, dang, like, you don't even have to go to your local companies. There could be companies further away in your area making serves. So I'm like, I'm gonna make a video out of this, of just talking to everybody and see how many different companies they hire. Not just the sheriff's department. Apparently the sheriff's department is more expensive than the company I work for. So I'm like, okay, good to know. So, but yeah,
I love it.
It's definitely, it's good.
Megan, you have been talking a lot about your social media and the videos and all of that. Will you drop in the chat where we can find your videos before
Yeah.
our call is up? Because I do think you have some fascinating ones that a lot of us would like to check out. And Elena, go ahead and take yourself off mute and let us know what you're thinking, what question you have.
Hey Megan, thanks for presenting today. I've picked up a few nuggets. I came in a little bit late, but I heard you were talking about Section 8 just now. Does your county Section 8 do co-living as well? Like, would they cover people living together in a house?
You know, I could ask them about that. Although Fort Dodge is kind of old school, so trying to present them ideas, they didn't even like Airbnb. What I was doing, room rentals a few years ago, they didn't even like that. I had to fight them on that. So yeah, I would have to ask them if they would allow. That's a good question, though. Yeah, I
I'm
could.
just
I could
thinking
just.
about it from the terms of, housing is starting to get worse and worse, especially in, megaplex, places like LA and, New York, and even up here in Sacramento. It's
Yeah.
getting harder to get affordable housing, right? And so that's one of the reasons why co-living is starting to grow. And so that made me wonder, when you were talking about Section 8, if they require, if they would handle, single people that could co-live in a place and still. So just thought I'd put it out there and thought about it.
I'm gonna ask that. That might be in other states where housing is hard to find. In Iowa, it's not very hard to find housing. I mean, we have a galore of apartments like available and everything. We have too many. If everybody from California could move up here, yeah, we have spaces all for them. But yeah, yeah,
Good to know. We'll start
they
sending
actually.
you some people.
Yeah, there you go. Like, seriously, Fort Dodge has the cheapest housing around, I feel like. So
Love it.
Awesome. Are there any other questions? You got some love in the chat, Megan. So thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing with us what you're doing and how we can support you. I don't know how to help you clone yourself. Haven't quite figured that out. But there are some amazing women who show up to this call every single week. So if there are people that can help you, definitely, have a conversation with them. One of the things that I'm trying to do this year is not take everything on myself. And I know, Megan, you tend to do that as well. You are just, you're doing all the things. But if you think you can help Megan, let her know. And we really appreciate this. And we're going to cheer you on, and definitely keep us posted. I'm very interested to hear how this tiny houses thing works, especially these premier housing things. I dropped the link in here so everybody could find what you were talking about.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I was trying to I did a screenshot of all my it won't allow me to attach the screenshot though of my TikTok, my YouTube, my Instagram, and I'm like, I thought it'd be faster, but it said not supported by admin. So
I don't even know what that means. So.
I don't either. I'm just like, it won't allow me to add that screenshot. That's so weird. It's just, I thought it'd be easier.
Somebody will have to teach me how to do that because I have no idea. Well, thanks, Megan. We appreciate you.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. This is my first time being a speaker on a Zoom besides, hosting my own sub-2 thing or whatever. But yeah, for another group, that's really cool.
I love it. I love it. Well, as you all know, I'm very big on we need to get more women on the stages of all these real estate groups, whether it's a Zoom, whether it's live, whether it's virtual, right? I mean, I'm so sick of seeing 97 white men and like one woman, right? We all know who the one woman tends to be. So if we can just make our presence known. All right, so now let's open it up. We have about 20 minutes until we end our call. And I thought instead of breaking out into groups, just because I think that'll be a little challenging while I'm in the car, I wanted to just open it up and hear, you know, what challenges are you facing? How can the group help you? And then are there certain people that you need to know, or who are you looking for that might make something in your life easier or for your business easier? And if you want, you can just come off mute or you can raise your hand. And while you're thinking about that, I will just go ahead and tell you what I need help with. As most of you know, I am in Amy Majuri's Raising Private Money group. And last Tuesday, I was feeling super vulnerable. And so I went on to the group and I told them, you know, I'm having some challenges raising money, not because I don't know how to raise money, but because I can't do everything myself. Like, I am not very good at follow up. I'm not very good at putting a process into place. I'm not good at, you know, organizing all the things. I can talk to a stranger. I can get on a Zoom with them. I can ask them intimate questions about how they're using their money. I can teach them about real estate and how we're investing with private money. So my ask, and this came after I had a conversation with Bridget Ruiz, which I know many of you ladies know. What I am looking for and what I want to build is a team of 3 to 4 women who want to raise private money and want to be able to take private money to other women-owned and women-led projects. So like if you had a project, like let's say Sandra had a flip that she was doing, she could come to us, we would JV and create some kind of LLC, and we would be her private money lending capital group. So I'm looking for people who are really highly organized, who like follow up, who understand how to put structures together, who want to be part of raising private money, who want to be part of, eventually we'll have a fund. That's my goal for 2025, but they don't actually want to do the one-on-one, like let's sit down and talk, but they can do the other things. So if that's you, if you think that that's something that interests you, I would love to have a conversation. I'm going to drop my Calendly link in the chat. And if that's you, cool. If not, no pressure. So Marissa, come on and tell us what's going on with you.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. I've realized lately that, you know, Pace talks about you either have time or you have money. I don't have time. I've got some money. And so I'm looking to try to maximize that as a PML or PMP in an opportunity. And I have one that I'm evaluating right now. And I realized I've gone through the sub 2 course, the vault, and I'm not finding like the how to be private money lender or how to be a private money partner. And I'm wondering, does that maybe exist in Gator and it doesn't exist in the sub 2 vault? But for the most part, anyone who has PMP or PML experience, I would love to connect with you.
Yeah, we can do a call, Marissa. There are many of you who signed up for our emails and have said, hey, I could talk about being a private money lender. I could talk about being a private money partner. We can also ask Melissa Palmer if she can join us. The reason that I joined Amy's group was because it's all about raising capital. And I personally found that Pace doesn't focus on that as much, but I could be wrong. Other people may have found more stuff in his content. I know that they're doing it now just because several people were, you know, screwed in terms of, you know, but there are people like Kay, you should definitely connect to. She and her team are crushing it. Anyone else, come off mute and let us know if you can help, Marissa.
On that one, so why don't we in the following week to gather a few ladies who have experience being PML. There's one session focused on being PML and there's one session on PMP, right? People that often mix the PML and PMP, but they're actually quite different in terms of what you get and your risk level. and there's pros and cons in both. So having people that actually been there and have some experience, both win and learnings, will be good to share.
That's great. Thanks, everyone. That sounds wonderful. And appreciate the people who put some information in the chat. I'll definitely reach out to connect. Thanks, Irene. Thanks, Katie.
Yeah, of course. And I will say we've been private partners. That's actually how we decided that we were going to shift into this full time. And it's funny because we learned a lot, and then being in this world so much more, I can tell you about what not to do because we made all of those mistakes. Still made money, thank goodness, but learned the hard way. Who else? How else can we help you? What do you need this week?
I'd love
No
to.
one is worth. Yes, go for it.
So I have 2 private money deals that I lent on that are my first 2. So obviously those never go the way you think they're gonna go. I'm on the deal with multiple other lenders. It's like one is like 5 of us, one is 7 of us. And basically both deals are late. They're both fix and flips. And so they seem like, you know, the projects are moving forward, but the communication with the borrower and also the connector is horrendous. And so the other lenders and I are kind of talking about, okay, what's the process of like, you know, like a demand letter? I know in different states, you know, it could be different. Do we need to talk to like a real estate attorney? So like, I'm more just looking for any sort of advice of like, you know, what's the first step or anything when it comes to, you know, default or getting the borrower to like take it seriously, you know? So any advice is appreciated.
Yeah, Kay, do you have any thoughts on this?
Hey Zane.
Okay,
Sorry.
so
Excuse curious George sounds in the background. My 2-year-old is here.
I get it. I
Okay.
get it.
So, how late? So, did you say that you have 2 PMLs now? They're both late?
Yeah, and they both were due like January 14th and January 24th. So
Okay.
about a month. I also
Okay.
think it was one of those where it should have been budgeted more time. So I think that's just the
Gotcha.
thing of it. So I'm
Okay.
actually not as like I'm taking it as a you know, a lesson learned. Come on, baby. But it's just more the communication with the buyer obviously isn't the best. And there's late fees in place. So yeah, but just as far as like, you know, do we do a demands letter or like when it does become serious, right? Like if it's 2 or 3 months late, like what's the process?
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, okay, so I know you mentioned fix and flips. So
Mhm.
fix and flips are always okay. So Pace, I reached out to Pace a couple of weeks ago. And he made it clear again that I guess a lot of the, you know, opportunities or deals are going to be late.
Yeah.
He's like, welcome to real estate. This is the reality. It's all going to be late, you know,
Yeah.
with his Pace voice.
Yeah.
So it sucks that it's late. I'm not taking away any, you know, anything
Mhm.
from that, but it's also kind of common.
Yeah.
Fix and flips will kind of always be late because they, you know, it's like it's a good person maybe in a bad deal, or they, you know, promise the world but they can't really deliver that. I mean, there's a lot of different aspects to it. So what's your late fee on each of them?
One is $100 and the other is like $324.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So like
$100 is not bad.
yeah.
My minimum's always like 150.
Okay.
But the $300 one, that's really good. Okay. So I wouldn't do a demand letter yet.
Okay.
What I would do is maybe talk with the connector and the borrower, but in a nice and an assertive way, be like, hey, communication is very important to me and my partners, if you have partners in it, or if it's just you, like, hey, communication is kind of important. You know, I'm a big girl, I can handle it. Like, can you let me know what's the status of the project? So when another gator I was connecting with a few months ago, he was like, hey, next time, like, I've had borrowers that are amazing and connectors, amazing at communicating. Like, they would just update me like every week. It was awesome. I have some that sucked at communicating. So they get busy and they just don't think it's important, or they come up with the excuses of like, oh, some PMLs don't like to be involved, whatever it is. So next time moving forward, you can set the expectations of like, hey, my expectation is I don't need an update every hour, but I do need an update once a week or something like that.
Yeah, no,
so set that expectation ahead of time, and the best time to do it is before they get your money, right?
Yeah.
Because after they get your money is a different story every time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rehab amount for fix and flips. The good, I don't know how you calculated it. Don't ever go by their numbers or their timeline or anything like that. So let's say if a project is, let's say rehab is $20,000, divide that by 1,000, and that comes up to 20 days, right? So that kind of like, and then, you know, you can do give and take, but it's always like a month, maybe a month and a half late. That's why you have late fees in place, which you have awesome ones. And I would just, you know, like, have a very direct conversation with them, like, be nice about it, you know, and then, because, you know, you want them to give you your money back, but also be like, hey, you know, I can handle it. Like, you can tell me what is the status of the project. I would like to be updated. Obviously we're late right now, so moving forward, can you update me and whatever you want, right? Like every 2 days or every week. But that's where I would be. And then did you have any contingencies in place, like, hey, if it's, I mean, whatever the PML is, right? Like, if it's beyond this X amount of days, then you know, we're going to take legal action, or is there anything that you put in place?
I have to go look and see what they are for each deal, because I keep putting each deal, like, you know, accidentally messing them up and like putting them together, like the details. So I'll have to go in and look. Like I said, these are like my first couple deals, and so I put a lot of power in the connector, you know.
Yeah.
So obviously
Yep.
I'm learning my lesson. So I
Yeah.
have to go and look at all those.
I hear you. My first deal, I had a lot of faith in the connector too. And you know, he was okay. I wouldn't give him an A in communication. But you know, definitely set up that communication expectation. It seems like you would like communication and you appreciate communication. So that's like something that, you know, so lesson learned, like moving forward, that's my expectation. I don't put in the JV agreement. Some people actually go to that point, but I give them the you know, I tell them like, hey, communication is important to me. Good or bad news, give it to me. Like, I need to know. I need to be involved. I do want to be involved, you know?
Yeah.
So, but we can chat more offline. I don't want to take up too much time here, but yeah, feel free to connect with me, and then, you know, I would love to guide you, or, you know, whatever it is, maybe brainstorm together.
Yeah. No, thank you, Kay, very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Thanks, Kay. That was some really good information that I think anyone on either side of the equation, if you're a connector, right, what is your role in terms of people informed? And then if you're teaming up, like, what are the things you should ask for? So thank you. Okay, we have 5 minutes and I'm gonna have a hard stop just because, again, in the car. So let's open it up to, what are your wins? Where have you stepped out and tried something new? What's going well? What can we celebrate with you? Irene, you have a giant smile on your face. I feel like you'll have like something to celebrate.
What did I have to celebrate? I got featured in a media like journal from CEO Weekly. From like the journalist kind of pick up the podcast and then write a nice article. So I didn't expect, and that was nice.
That is awesome. What has been going well? What small steps have you taken? Everyone's so quiet this week.
Yes, I can share.
Yeah, go for it, Kay.
Speaking of lateness, I have an EMD that I led down on a multifamily in Florida, and it's like late in the sense that they had some hiccups. It went hard. So I negotiated 15% equity. So yeah, I am a part equity owner.
Heck
I guess.
yes.
Yeah, of a multifamily in
Of a
Florida. So
multi-family deal?
yep.
That's awesome. How
So
many units?
it has 16 units, but they have several lots around it, and they're gonna build more. But I don't think I can get all of those. But anyways, the 16 unit, the valuation is, I want to say 2.4 mil. So yeah, they're gonna.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That is awesome, Kay. Congrats. Who else? Who's next?
Well, I'm about 10 days out for closing my first sub 2 deal. And that one is
Heck
going to be
yes, Elena.
yeah, just about we're just about there. We finished the home inspection, we're getting some quotes. I'm going to meet my PMP there March 6th, and we're going to start the process of figuring out all the things, all the budgets, all the furniture, what kind of design we want. I'm basically walking her through the whole process of, what does it look like to turn on an Airbnb and get it running. So she's pretty excited about it. I'm pretty happy to get another unit going. I'm also negotiating a 10 unit as well in Tucson. So I should have that one wrapped up, I'm hoping, in the next week or two as well. So I might be in Arizona the whole month of March doing all the things. So definitely definitely looking for people who want to come along for the ride, would like to invest and learn about how to do short-term, midterm rentals.
That is awesome. Who else? What can we celebrate with you? Benji, no, wait, I said it wrong again. I'm so sorry. Remind me how I say it. I'm going to remember.
Don't worry about that, Katie.
No, I will worry. It makes
Yeah,
me sad. I hate when people mispronounce my name.
yeah, it's Fanju.
Bonjour. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us what's been happening.
So recently I've been thinking about my superpower, and I've like applied my superpower to work, to life, to real estate investment. And I've been asking questions all over the place, and I got good response from the guest speakers. For example, like the one Irene host last Friday in Asian Affinity about private money lending. That was really encouraging. And because I was following like who I really is at work, and my big boss visited Atlanta like the week before, and last week my boss said I got him a really good impression because I'm the one who take initiative, and he described me as the special talent on the team. So I'm pretty like happy for that.
That's awesome, Fonzie.
I love that so much. I know that Elena, what were you saying?
I was just saying that's awesome. And I also had a conversation with you, Fonju, and we're going to be trying to get her hooked up with some learnings of short-term, midterm. And she's definitely a talented person, so I can see why her boss propped her up. That's amazing.
Thank you so much. I get so much like inspiration and positivity from the team. Like every one of you is the inspiration. Thank you so much for having the good community.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I will tell you, several years ago, probably 6 or 7 years ago, when I was first coaching, I did a lot with a woman named Marie Forleo, which some of you may know about her. But one of the things that she suggested in her mentorship was to come up with a list of 10 to 15 people, right? These are people who are in your close sphere of influence. Maybe they're people that you work with. They're people that fall into that know, like, and trust. They know, like, and trust you, and you know, like, and trust them. And ask them what your superpowers are. What do they think your superpowers are? And I did this, and it was an incredibly powerful experience. Because sometimes, right, and you all know I love strengths finders, we talk about it all the time. I love an assessment that gives you information, but sometimes those people who are the closest to you see things in you that you did not even realize. Like, I will never forget, my friend Amber wrote me back and she said, I think you're one of the most loyal people. I had never thought that about myself. Anyways, if it's an exercise that you haven't done, take a few minutes over the next week, because as you're studying yourself, as you're thinking through your strengths, when you can look at those people who know, like, and trust you, that you know, like, and trust, they can give you other words and see things in you that you just don't even understand or realize are there. Okay, anyone else have one last yay that we need to celebrate for the week? No one? I mean, I know y'all aren't just chilling at home. I see all the work that everyone's doing. Sandra's laughing. Sandra, how's it coming finding your flip? Is that happening? Are you one step closer?
I'm gonna give you a chuckle. One of my accomplishments was I took my Christmas decorations down this week. So that's one. But
I love it.
yeah. Oh God. They were up till
Still
this.
have some up, so I totally understand.
It's just like it's a lot of work to put them up, and then I like the twinkly lights, and then I'm like over it and don't want to deal with it, so it just sits. But I got it done. So,
Excellent.
also, but like I spend like every free minute kind of looking for a flip, and it's very challenging in the area I live in. There's very low inventory. The competition is crazy. There's 50 to 70 people at every open house I went to. But this weekend, I looked at 5 properties, and I think tomorrow I'm going to put an offer in on 3 of them. So, wish me luck. We'll see. We'll see.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I love this so much. I will also say, can we make a slight tweak in your language?
Yes.
Instead of saying it's so hard, there's so much competition, could we start saying, I know the right one is coming. I know the right one is looking for me. I know that my property is out there and I'm going to find it. Just small little tweaks, because every time you say it's hard, then you start to just think, oh, it's hard. And so maybe it's not doable. And yet you've done this time and time again. So it's not that hard.
You know, and like, I think when I first really started looking hard, I got frustrated when either I'd call a realtor and it was off the market already, I just missed it, or I'm getting outbid, or I'm bidding higher, but they're picking a young couple because they don't want an investor, which can happen with flipping. And at first I was like discouraged. And now I have such good conversations with the realtors when I go. So I'm making connections when I go. So it's never a complete loss. Yeah, maybe that house wasn't for me, but at least I'm making connections out in the world.
I love that. And
I was just going to ask for you.
Oh, go ahead, Elena.
Sandra, I was just going to ask, where are you that you're trying to do flips?
I'm on the North Shore of Boston.
Got it. Okay.
Are there wholesalers up there that you need to know that maybe some of us know? Like, do you know people in sub 2 up there? Do you know anybody that's looking for those kind of projects?
Cynthia actually hooked me up with a sub 2 meetup that's only about an hour for me this weekend. So I'm going, which was super nice. So thank you. So is she on here? Is Cynthia on tonight?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Oh no, there she is.
she is. So thank you, Cynthia. I'm going to one this weekend that is welcoming people outside of sub 2. So I'm going to go to that on Saturday.
Perfect. And that will be a step forward as well. All right, ladies, you go, but I just want to remind you that you are total badasses, that the work that you are doing in real estate, it matters, right? We've heard from so many different women like Megan, who's doing Section 8 and is finding housing solutions in Iowa. We've heard from people who are doing stuff in healthcare, right? Some of us are doing co-living, whatever it is that you're doing. It doesn't even have to be altruistic, right? You need to make money because you have big, bold things to do in this world, and you need those dollars to be able to do them. So whatever is facing you this week, I want you to just take a step out, do the hard thing. Do not worry about falling down. You might fall down, but just like my goddaughter did when she fell down on a freaking ski mountain this weekend, she got right back up and she went and did it. And that is what every single one of you are going to do. So have an amazing, wonderful, remember that you're a badass, and we will see you back next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Love you, ladies.